Hi, second grade students. Today's story is from Knowledge 7, Lesson 4, called The Story of Sequoia. Before I begin our story, I'm going to go over our vocabulary words. Our first vocabulary word is the word generations. Say generations. Generations are groups of people who are born around the same time. Our next vocabulary word is the word interacting. Say interacting. Interacting is talking or doing things with other people. Our last vocabulary word is the word create. Say create. Create means to make or to produce something new. People are not born knowing how to read and write. They have to learn these skills just as they have to learn to talk. This is true for individuals like you and me, and it's also true for all groups of people. In the early 1800s, the Cherokee people had a spoken language they used to communicate, but they did not have a written language for reading and writing. The Cherokee were Native Americans who lived in what is now known as the southeastern United States. There were Cherokee settlements in Georgia, Tennessee, and the Carolinas. The Cherokee people had many folk tales that had been told and retold for many generations. But none of these tales have ever been written down because the Cherokee kept and passed down meaningful information orally, or by mouth, or by talking. That changed because of the hard work and dedication of a Cherokee man named Sequoia. Sequoia was born in Tennessee. He grew up with his Cherokee family, speaking the Cherokee language. But Sequoia, who was a farmer and a silversmith, also spent a lot of time interacting with the white settlers who were living near Cherokee lands. Sequoia believed that having a written language could make the Cherokee people even stronger. In 1809, he began to think about developing a writing system for his native language. 3 years later, during the War of 1812, Sequoia and the other Cherokee joined the United States under General Andrew Jackson to fight the British troops. There, Sequoia observed how the U.S. Army officers sent and received messages. The idea of developing a written language was not new to him, but Sequoia saw how useful reading and writing was when the officers needed to communicate. The Cherokee called the letters that the officers sent each other talking leaves. Sequoia had seen how helpful they were for the soldiers. He was convinced it would be good if the Cherokee people could use talking leaves too. When the war ended, Sequoia kept working to develop a writing system for the Cherokee language. At first, he tried to come up with a symbol for each word in the language. He spent a year trying to create or make symbols for all the words in the Cherokee language. Even after a year, he was still not done. Sequoia was so busy with his project developing the symbols for the Cherokee written language that he didn't plant any crops that year. All he did was work on creating the symbols. His wife was worried. She thought Sequoia didn't know what he was doing. She thought that he was just wasting his time. She did not understand what Sequoia was trying to do. How would she and her children survive without crops? What were they supposed to eat? Some historians had recorded that, after a while, Sequoia's wife was so upset that she gathered up all of Sequoia's work and burnt it. Others have said that his fellow Cherokee destroyed the symbols because they thought it would bring their people bad luck. Either way, Sequoia's work went up in smoke. This was a heavy blow for Sequoia, but in a way it was a good thing. It was good because Sequoia realized the approach, or the way that he had chosen to create the symbols, was not the best one. It is possible to make a writing system in which there is a different symbol for each word in the language. Writing systems of this sort of stuff do exist, but they took a long time to create and are very difficult to learn. Think what it would be like if we had to learn a different symbol for all of the tens of thousands of words in the English language. How would we ever remember all those symbols? Sequoia knew there had to be a better way, and there was a better way, and he eventually found it. Sequoia realized that all Cherokee words were made up of syllables, so he created 84 symbols to represent all of the syllables in the Cherokee language. This was extraordinarily clever. Sequoia had never learned to read and write, but he figured out a writing system for his native language. Once Sequoia had come up with symbols for his 84 syllables in the Cherokee language, he was confident that he could teach other people to use them. He started by teaching his own daughter, Ioka. Ioka would easily learn to read and write with the symbols Sequoia created. Then Sequoia went to show his writing system to the chiefs of the Cherokee Nation. At first, the chiefs were skeptical. Some of them did not understand what Sequoia was trying to do. Others thought his system might not really work. A few thought Sequoia might be trying to trick them. Sequoia had expected this, as he told the chiefs he could prove that his system really worked. He would send his daughter away. Then he would write down any words the chiefs wanted him to write. When he had done this, he would call her back and she would read the words. That way, the chiefs could be sure Sequoia was not tricking them. The chiefs agreed. Ioka went away. One of the chiefs spoke some words in the Cherokee language. Sequoia wrote down what he had said, using his syllable symbols. Then he sent for his daughter. When she returned, she read the words Sequoia had written. The chiefs were impressed, but they were not fully convinced. They tried the same test a few more times, using different words each time. The chiefs had Sequoia write the symbols and then called his daughter in to read them. Then the chiefs had Ioka write the symbols and called Sequoia in to read them. Finally, the chiefs concluded that Sequoia's writing system really did work. After all of his hard work, Sequoia's writing system was accepted. He and Ioka taught other Cherokee people to use the symbols, and that is how the Cherokee people learned to read and write. Later, many sad things happened to the Cherokee people. In the 1830s, they were forced to leave their lands. Later, they were forced onto reservations and into English-speaking classrooms. Thanks to Sequoia's hard work, however, the Cherokee were able to keep their language alive. Even today, almost 200 years later, the Cherokee language is written with symbols developed by Sequoia. Sequoia is remembered and honored as the man who taught his people to read and write. However, he is not only honored by the Cherokee people, he is considered to be a national hero too. There is a statue of Sequoia in the U.S. Capitol building, and it is believed that the tall, strong sequoia trees that grow in California may have been named to honor the man who allowed his people to stand a little bit taller too.